All right, let's try that now. Here we go. Welcome to another episode of Brand Marks the Spot. I am your brand buddy, Patrick Sesko, and this show is all about life as a solo entrepreneur, branding and design, all to help you leverage those things to grow your business and impact more people. And it looks like I am ready. We had a technical difficulty earlier, so glad to be on with you all. Again, I'm Patrick Sesko. I'm your brand buddy, and this is the this week's episode of Brand Marks the Spot. And today we're going to be talking about how to create a lead magnet that doesn't suck, right? So how many times have you downloaded something and you get it and it's just like very difficult to read, it looks bad, it's not well put together, and it ends up on the proverbial graveyard on your hard drive or in the trash, right? And then you're on somebody's list that you're not happy to be on, then you have to unsubscribe, et cetera, et cetera. So all of those things kind of have a chain reaction, right? So today we're going to talk about how to create a lead magnet that doesn't suck. But before we do that, I want to say that this episode is brought to you by, speaking of lead magnets, my free brand roadmap to creating a killer visual brand. And this is for overwhelmed entrepreneurs who are either just starting out or want to up-level their brand. It gives you my 4-step 4D branding roadmap on how to create a visual brand that kicks butt. And you can go ahead and grab that at patricksesko.com/brand roadmap. So grab that, and I'll be showing that to you a little bit later on as well. So on to the show. So today we're going to be talking about creating a killer lead magnet that doesn't suck, because if you're an online entrepreneur of any kind, you're most likely you need to grow an email list. So you most likely have something or need to get something out there that is like a little freebie for your ideal audience to download, to give them a quick win and to give them just a little bit of an exposure of what it's like to work with you and be in your world, and get them on your list so you can nurture them on your list and make some offers to them based on what it is that you do, right? So you'll find that, and just a little aside, my neighbor's cutting a tree down, so it's really loud. So hopefully that's not coming through today. So what we're going to talk about the different types of lead magnets, and let's pull that up right now. Let me get this on here. Boom. Let me see. We'll stop that. I'm still learning this video software. I'm using BeLive, which I think is great. And here we go. Let me swap that around. There we go. So different types of lead magnets, right? So again, a lead magnet is something that you're going to create that's of value for your ideal audience to grab from you, to be able to use to get a quick win based on whatever it is that you are offering. So in my case, it's branding and design. So I'm going to give something that's going to be related to that in order to move them to the next level on hopefully working with me and being in my world. And of course, it needs to provide value, right? So the different types of lead magnets that there are PDFs that you can download. These are going to be reports, checklists, things like that. Videos, you can have either a single video or a series of videos. It could be a training of some kind, or maybe a free mini workshop, which is also probably a video. A challenge. I see people doing a lot of like challenges, like a 5-day challenge, for instance. People also just give out templates. Friend Bobby Klink does legal templates, and he has a free privacy policy template that he gives out, which is tremendous value. And then there's audio files too. So you can, if somebody is, into meditation or something like that, and they do want to give away a free meditation, an audio file could be an option for your lead magnet. So today we're going to mostly focus on how to create a PDF, which is going to be just like a little multi-page document. And let's see here. So what should your lead magnet be about, right? So what you want to do is you want to think of something that's going to give your audience a quick win. So you have to consider where your customer is right now and where they need to be in order to work with you, right? So, and what you want to do ideally is that lead magnet's going to close that gap in terms of giving them a quick win. So you want to consider your customer journey, where they are. What do they know or not know about where they need to be as it relates to what you offer? So again, I offer branding and design. So my lead magnet, which is the brand roadmap, it gives people this 30,000 foot view of what needs to be done in their business from a branding perspective. And it gives them an opportunity to see where they are on that roadmap. Maybe they're missing something in this first phase of the brand roadmap, or maybe they're missing something down here. So it gives them that, it's like an auditing tool, and that allows them to see what's missing in order for them to fill the gaps. So this is an overview piece. Or it could be something very specific. Like I also have a lead magnet that is a ideal customer avatar worksheet. So that specifically helps my ideal audience figure out who their ideal audience is, right? Because you're going to need those things to market to them when you're putting your stuff out there. You want to think about what value, and let me just move my, there we go. You want to think about what value you can provide that will get them closer to what it is that you offer. And like I said, close the gap, right? So those are the things you want to think about when you are creating a lead magnet. So you want to brainstorm, right? So you want to write it out what your lead magnet is first. So brainstorm, open up a Google Doc or what have you. Write it out, start with your hook, tell them what their problems are and how the lead magnet's going to solve that small problem. Don't make the problem so big to where it's just going to be this epic thing. Make it very small and bite-sized. And so you can go for there. Things like checklists, reports, a survey result report, a how-to, a mini workshop. Something small, like I said, that'll help your ideal customer solve a quick problem, right? So just be very clear, or be sure to be clear on what exactly the lead magnet helps your audience achieve, and make it very specific, because you just want to be very cut and dry and very clear on your message on what your lead magnet is, right? So now, once you figure that out and you've written your lead magnet, whether it's a checklist, whether it's a little report like mine is, or maybe it's a little mini how-to or something like that, you want to create the lead magnet. So let me pull this back up here. So your lead magnet solve a pain point or a frustration that'll give your audience. You want to make it very specific. You want to get so they're not spending enough time on it. To be epic, and you to create so that person, because now obviously market to them eventually. So next up, we are going to design the lead magnet. So let me come back on here. Boy, I'm having a hard time with this. There we go. There we go. So to design the lead magnet, I'm a graphic designer, so I use the Adobe suite with InDesign, Illustrator, and Photoshop. Those are much more advanced softwares, but you can use things like Canva or other page layout software. Even if it's a Word document, you can do some nice things with the Word document. It's limited in a lot of ways, but for a lead magnet, I think it is definitely doable. Canva is probably your best bet, so you can get some of the design elements in there that Microsoft Word won't be able to do for you. So use Canva or another page layout. So again, this is if we're using a PDF. If you're doing video, you can use your webcam or even your iPhone camera, which is very simple. Keep it simple. You don't have to get fancy here to record your video. And then for audio, you can do things like Audacity or Audition, or just just create like a little, use your notes, your voice note app on your smartphone, right? So once you have that written out and you want to get this in, right now we're doing the PDF option. So we're going to focus on the PDF option for the rest of this show. Once you have all that written out, you want to edit it, make sure the flow is good. You have like an introduction, you state the problem, you state how your lead magnet is going to solve that problem, and then you get into whatever it is that lead magnet is going to do, whether it's you know, a little mini workshop or a workbook of some kind to help you achieve something that'll get you closer to where you need to be as it relates to what you offer. All right. So design tips. So if you're using Canva or other page layout software, you want to make sure that you're going to be consistent with your brand colors, right? And fonts, because consistency is key with branding, because it takes your audience, 5 to 8 times to be exposed to your brand on a consistent basis before they even begin to remember and associate your design, your colors, and your fonts, and your just general look and feel with you. So consistent with your branding, consistent look and feel with the rest of your brand. So make sure it is at least related to your web page or your social media graphics. All those things need to have a cohesive look and feel, so that way people know that it's from you. Don't cram too much on one page, right? We're dealing with pixels here, so this is not like we're saving money on printing extra pages. So, make sure that the document is nice and clean, it flows nicely, and it's easy to read. And then you want to just incorporate some basic, simple design principles like balance and structure and hierarchy to your design. So that way it is easy to read, easily digestible, and effective, because again, design is sort of that barrier to entry. The design has to be good in order for the person to be compelled to even want to read it and go through it. So if it's very difficult to get through, if you got a butt ton of copy on the page that's really hard to read and it's like 8-point font size, no one's going to read that. All right. So keep that in mind. And so just remember, when you're doing this, design isn't just how it looks, it's how it works. And I think Steve Jobs said that. So that's again one of my favorite quotes. So as we're creating the lead magnet, I'm going to show you a couple of examples. So this example here, and I'm going to hide myself. This example here is, this was created for the purpose of this presentation, but a lot of times you'll get people who don't have the knowledge or the know-how to create a lead magnet that looks good and that works good in terms of a hierarchy standpoint, from a layout and design standpoint. So here's one with a photo of me. I've got my little headline, and there's some copy, and there's a little link, right? I could have the best copy in the world, but the chances of somebody reading that and digesting it are minimized because of the lack of design, hierarchy, and layout. And it doesn't really have any of my branding elements, colors, fonts, and things like that, right? So when I take this very simple paragraph, headline, photo, and a button, and I apply those design principles, then you get something that looks like this, right? Now, this is not going to win any, innovative design awards, but what it does do, it gives a hierarchy and it gives purpose to the design. So you've got your headline. That's the first thing they're going to read. They know that there's a buy button, so that they know that there's something for sale. So there's not like any bait and switch, right? You have your subheading, and then you have your copy. Your copy is broken down into smaller chunks, because smaller chunked copy is much easier to digest. You have the image of me on the right with balanced out with the copy that's on the left. And you can even see that my hands are kind of gesturing over to the copy. So that's a little trick too. When you're doing photos, sometimes if somebody's looking to the left or to the right, have them look at what you want them to read, right? So that way it gives this sort of mental balance. It gives mental flow of how you're supposed to digest the information, right? So that's that. And then, this is just an alternate option of that to show you what it might look like on a darker background. Now, a little side note is, when you're creating these PDFs, you want to take into consideration your user. So if you're going to have a page that's all full color, like a solid block of color, and do that on all of your pages, that could be a problem, because when people go to print it out, we all know how much printer ink cartridges cost. So when you go to do that, make sure some of your pages are white and light and airy, so they're easier to print, if that is in fact what you want somebody to do, right? So that's just a little side tip there. So your design can be simple, but it has to be effective and usable, because usability is one of the most important things of any design, whether it's a web page or a PDF such as this, right? All right, so now I want to show you an example and talk about hierarchy some more, because hierarchy is very important in order to get your customer or your user to get through the information quickly, easily, and make it so that it's digestible and being able to retain the information, right? So this right here is an example of a before and after on a couple of pages of a lead magnet from someone I worked with. This is Brandis Nicole. She's a style expert, and she had a couple of things, right? So she had her brand colors were this bright yellow and this purple, and then she had this lead magnet. This is one of the pages of the lead magnet, and the one on the left was the original. And from a design perspective, I think it's fine. It's nice and balanced. But the problem is that it's just got so much copy. There's not a lot of hierarchy between the headlines and the text. And she wasn't even using her actual brand colors. I think she was a little timid on using that bright yellow because it was kind of loud and boisterous. But that was, in fact, her personality. So when I took her lead magnet, let's see, looks like I got stopped there. Must be my connection is not so great today. So hopefully that stays with us. Yeah, there we go. So you'll see that then I used her brighter colors, and there's a much more flow to the copy, easier to read, easier to retain. And then you have some white space there on the bottom left. So it opens that up and makes it easier to read. People can scan this much quicker than they could the one on the left. Now, another page within her document, the left was the original, and the one on the right was the edits. And again, these aren't these aren't epic changes, right? So what we did, we took her logo, put it in a little flag at the top just to give it a little bit of balance with the bright yellow bar on the bottom. And we just bumped up the hierarchy on the headlining and the subheading, and then just broke up that text a little bit so it's easier to read. So again, hierarchy is very important. And then one of the pages of this gray with the background and the circle logo there with all this copy. So what we took out that gray. Let me make sure my Ethernet is coming in. Okay, good. Sorry about that. So we added all more white space. We broke that text up into multiple paragraphs. It's easier to digest. You have a much clearer hierarchy on the headline. You can read it even at this size. And then we put her call to action into a call out section on the bottom with a button that screams, hey, this is where you go to get this. And then of course, we boosted her photograph because it's a beautiful photograph. She's got a beautiful smile, and then incorporated her actual brand color. So you can see it's a world of difference. And, so that's how you do it. That is how you create a lead magnet that doesn't suck. There are a lot of components that go to it. Obviously, the content has to be good. The content has to solve a problem that's a quick win for your audience. And a couple of things, like I said, be mindful of like bleed images and large areas of full color, because those do put a toll on people's printer cartridges. And then if you have like a PDF that's a fill in the blanks kind of thing, definitely, if you have the means to do it, create it so that way the forms are actually fill outable online, in a program, as opposed to having to print it out. So you give people the option, right? Because people do things and learn things different ways. So some people like to fill the PDF right out on the computer, and others like to print it out and do that. And then again, just using simple design principles. These don't have to be, this is not like a design contest. Design is how it works. You want to get it into the hands of the people that it's meant for, and you want them to get through whatever that is. So that way they can get that quick win, become a part of your community, and become a fan of yours, and eventually buy your products and services. That's the idea, right? So once you do that, you create your PDF, that's the breadth of what we're covering in this video. And in another video, I'd like to talk about getting your lead magnet out to your audience, because once you get your lead magnet, you're going to want to, share it with your your audience, whether it's through social media, share it with your email list if they're already on your email list. But really, the primary reason for having the lead magnet is to grow your email list, right? Because you want people to opt in, give you their email address in return for the lead magnet. And it's very difficult to do that organically through social media right now, just because of that's just how the algorithm works. So one of the most quickest ways that you can grow your list with your lead magnet is through Facebook ads. And when I ran my first set of Facebook ads, I boosted my email list from 200 people to over 1,000 people in just 6 weeks. So I'd like to do another video in the near future about maybe doing a Facebook ad funnel. But generally, you want to get your opt-in page set up through your internet service for your email service provider or lead pages. You got a little form there that's going to have your email and your email address and your first name. People will fill that out. Your system automatically sends them an email with the link to your lead magnet. They grab the lead magnet, and those people automatically get onto your email list so you can begin to nurture them and share your content with them. That's the whole point of this, right? And just to show you an example of my lead magnet here, this is the brand roadmap that I talked about in the beginning. And this one is a little bit more comprehensive document. It's 16 pages. There is a lot of copy on these, but you'll notice the branding is all consistent with what I have that's out there. My colors and fonts are consistent. I've got my logo. This is what the lead magnet is, and kind of gives you an overview of branding. You've got some quotes there. The colors are there. So you got a nice hierarchy of information. The copy is broken up into smaller paragraphs, so it's easier to read. I do have a lot of copy on this one, but you'll notice see how it's broken up, and it's the hierarchy is such that it's very easy to read, and it's a quick read, right? And then you have some graphics to break things up. This is the roadmap. And then you have the different sections with call outs and little drop illustrations in there with the headers. So it's very quick, easy to read, and I believe effective, right? So remember, design is how it works too. And then I have a call to action at the end for people to sign up for my Facebook page and all that. And then another one is my ideal customer profile workbook, which is another one that I've put out there. Excuse me. You notice the design is the same, and it's got the same look and feel. And you got your forms to fill out for figuring out who your ideal customer is, and all of those things, right? And just some areas to fill out. And then again, call to action. So those are just a couple of examples. So that's what you need to do. Once you get that lead magnet all done and ready to go, proofed, it's designed, it's laid out, you've got your PDF, it sits on a file server somewhere on the internet, and you're going to share it with people in hopes to get their email address so you can begin to nurture them and have a relationship. So that's what you got to do, is get that in front of your ideal audience. And that is it. That's what we got for you guys today. I appreciate you sticking around. If you are here, just drop in and say hi, where you're from. If you're watching a replay, just type in #replay. If you have any questions or comments, drop them in the comments section, and I'll definitely come back and answer them. And you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Later.